So my daughter, she's 5.5, and she just got crazy amounts of energy. It doesn't matter if she's running on like a little bit of sleep, or if she's got a cold, or what's going on, if it's the end of the day, the beginning of the day. Like, she's just always, got a lot of energy. That's just how kids naturally are. Healthy kids have a crazy amounts of energy. And I remember being a kid, and I remember my, parents and being at like family parties and things like that, and everyone would be like, oh gosh, what it would be like to be a kid again and to have that kind of energy. And all throughout middle school and high school, I was very energetic naturally. I mean, I was always active on sports teams. I was working multiple jobs. I was always hyper and energetic. And then all of a sudden, went into college, and that was where I got introduced to good old coffee, caffeine. And I still remember having my first couple cups of coffee, and I just remember it was like all of a sudden you could see like rainbows appearing, and it was just like, I felt amazing. I remember just having, this ridiculous amounts of hyper energy, and it was just like a gift from God, this feeling. It felt so good. All of a sudden my productivity went through the roof. I could just focus. And I remember it was just like an instant love. I fell in love with coffee, started drinking it every single day. For years, for about 10 years, drank coffee all the time. And really, I only drank it black. I drank, as time went on, I learned more about coffee. I started to drink, more alkaline type of coffee, mycotoxin, mold toxin free coffee, so healthier types of coffee. And I really just primarily drank it black, or would, mix in some coconut oil or things like that in it. Tried to keep it as healthy as possible. But in time, eventually it got to the point where I just didn't feel anything really from coffee anymore. That high that I used to get at one time, over time, just got less and less and less and less and less, until really I just didn't feel anything from coffee anymore. I just really was drinking it just to feel normal. Because if I had to go a day or two without it, I didn't feel normal. I would get headaches, I would feel tired. All I'd be thinking of, oh my gosh, I just need a cup of coffee. And then that was the beginning of where I started to think maybe something isn't right about it. But I was conflicted because I was seeing all these studies out there. You see studies out there all the time. New study shows that people who drink coffee live longer. New study shows that people who drink coffee have less chances of getting Alzheimer's. New study shows coffee has all these antioxidants and polyphenols, and all these studies coming out that made me feel conflicted. Where part of me, my intuition and my gut always thought that, I just feel like something's not right about coffee. I don't really know what it is, but all these studies and things are coming out saying that coffee is good for you. And then I got into Tony Robbins, which you guys know that I love Tony Robbins, and I started going to his conferences, and this guy has got, especially if you've ever seen him live, so much incredible natural energy. And he doesn't drink any caffeine. He drinks no coffee, eats a vegetarian diet, he doesn't drink any alcohol, anything like that, no stimulants of any kind, and the dude has ridiculous amounts of energy. He gets up on stage and he rocks the house from morning until way past midnight. I've now been to, I think, 3 or 4 of his events, and at every single event that I've been to, only one time did the event actually end before midnight. That's right, only one time, only one day out of all the events that I've been to, only one day did it actually end before midnight. All the other events that I've been to of his that are multiple days long, they typically would end at 1, 2, 3, even as late as past 4 in the morning. And the people in the audience are exhausted and worn out. But he's the one running the show, and he's not even tired. He's hyped up out of his mind, no coffee. I mean, you don't even see him going to the bathroom. You don't see him drinking water. And one of the things that he teaches, especially at his Unleash the Power Within event, is that energy comes within. Real, natural, sustainable energy should come from within. That it shouldn't have to come from an artificial form of energy, such as caffeine or some kind of stimulant or something like that. The most sustainable form of energy should come from within. Let's think of energy almost kind of like, what we use in energy in the world. So a very efficient use of energy is using oil and fossil fuels. Yes, it's very effective using oil, but is there a cause? Is there an effect to using all this oil? Absolutely. The effect, the damage is that it damages the earth. It's not really renewable. I mean, we don't really know how much oil we can extract and what the consequences are. When it gets burnt up, it's destroying the ozone and all kinds of other problems. So it's not really the best source of energy. Even though, hey, it is a source of energy and it works great. You know, the whole world is practically running off oil. And now that us humans are evolving and becoming more intelligent, we're starting to just discover and find out that actually a smarter and a more sustainable use of energy would be using something that's a renewable source of energy, such as solar power, you know, right? You have solar panels, things like that you can just keep renewing. The sun is giving off this free energy. We can use it without having the consequences of destroying the earth and all its resources at the same time. So I kind of see coffee as that same thing. So coffee, we don't I don't believe that we fully understand the long-term consequences of drinking coffee. I know it's a controversial subject, and I'm sure I'm already going to get people commenting in the links below, you know, posting links, and, oh, what about this study, and what about this study, what about, you know, this, and all this, and blah, blah, blah. Hey, listen, I'm not here to bash coffee or anything like that, okay? I'm just saying what's on my personal journey and what I want to do to become the best version of myself. But something interesting that I've noticed is that from a lot of the organizations, the blogs, and the people that are promoting these studies to drink coffee are typically the ones that have financial gain from people drinking coffee. They're from like a supplement company that sells coffee, or from, you know, something that markets coffee or something like that, or their whole blog is based around coffee, or their identity is based around coffee. Well, sure. Then it just makes sense that they have incentive to want to push and promote these studies, because of the fact that, you know, that's what their whole identity and business might be wrapped around, is coffee. And I've started to notice that, oh, interesting. It's what a coincidence that this blog or this brand or whatever is promoting this study about the health benefit of drinking coffee, when they actually have financial gain to benefit from people being addicted to and drinking coffee. Now, coffee clearly is addictive. I don't think, you know, that needs to be debated. And if you don't believe it, just go a week without drinking coffee and you'll see for yourself. You know, for me, it's been now about a month that I have been drinking coffee, and over a month now. And I'll share with you exactly what it went through. You know, the first 2 days were really the most challenging. I'm not gonna lie. I felt tired. I got a headache. The first week, really, I didn't sleep good. It took me about a week to be able to start sleeping normally. And but then all of a sudden, something that I noticed was that I started to get really, really deep levels of sleep. My sleep quality started to improve immensely. That it was just like when I woke up in the morning, I felt so much more refreshed, and I didn't need to take any sleep aids or anything like that at night, where normally, you know, take like, you know, a little bit of natural sleep aids, nothing crazy, but just like maybe some melatonin or some GABA or something like that, and have my blue blocker glasses on, which are totally fine to, you know, to help me to relax and go into sleep. Or now that I'm not drinking coffee anymore, I don't even need any of that. Even blue blocker glasses, which I still love and I'm a fan of, but I don't even need to wear those, and I naturally will fall asleep very easily at night and go into a very deep level of sleep and wake up refreshed. See, because caffeine has a very long half-life, and you might not realize that. You might still be able to, you know, drink a couple of coffees throughout the day and go to sleep at night, but that caffeine may be affecting you from going into the deepest level of sleep, and you don't realize it. And that's why so many times people can sleep like 8, 9, 10 hours and they still wake up feeling exhausted. Have you ever experienced that? You know, I know that I have. But since I've quit coffee, I go into the deepest level of sleep and I wake up feeling so much more refreshed. And as I've researched now and seen other YouTubers and people who've documented their experience of quitting coffee, I've seen now similar testimonials as well, where they'll say the same thing, that yeah, I notice now that it's easier to go to sleep, and that it's easier to wake up in the morning, and I feel more refreshed. And so then as I moved into weeks 2 and 3 of being off coffee, you know, my energy levels were still low. I didn't have that normal type of like hyper energy that I would on caffeine, especially going to the gym. I wasn't as motivated to work out, and when I did work out, wasn't as motivated to push myself as hard, but you know, I still did it anyways. And I believe a lot of that has to do with adrenal fatigue. There's a lot of argument that says that coffee and caffeine can burn out your adrenals over time, which I believe. And from reading different forums, like on Reddit and things like that, I've heard from people who can take up to 6 months to fully get back to normal from caffeine addiction. Now, it's been over a month now, and I'm feeling great. I think that I'm pretty much back to how I used to be, like my younger, natural, energetic self. I mean, I just went to the gym. I was feeling hyper, energetic, caffeine-free, just crushing it. Music was getting me pumped up again. And that's what I like to feel. I like to feel that natural, like, clean type of hyper energy that's just natural. It's not from a stimulant, but it's because maybe I heard a song that I really liked on the radio, or maybe because, I'm just excited about a workout that I'm doing, or I'm excited about the day, or excited about a project that I'm working on, not because of some like artificial type of energy source. And so now that it's been about a month, looking back, I don't think I'm going to go back to coffee or caffeine or anything like that. I'm not saying that I will never drink coffee again. Sure, in fact, I'm sure that I probably will drink, an occasional cup of coffee. But I want it to be just that, like an occasional type of as-needed type of a basis, maybe, and I'll actually feel the benefits of it. So maybe all of a sudden if I have a lot of work to get done in a day, and for whatever reason, I just was exhausted, and I still need to be productive, sure, maybe then I'll use a cup of coffee in my arsenal to help me to stay focused, stay productive that day. But I don't want it to become a daily and addictive habit like it used to be before, where it was like, I had to have my coffee, like most people are. I just was in Las Vegas, and I had a roommate and everything, and in the morning, first thing, we got to go to coffee, and I went with them, went to Starbucks, and the line was massive, and everybody is waiting in line. We get up there, it's $6 a cup of coffee, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. Do you want anything? No, I'm good. I wasn't even going to get a tea or anything, because they were like, I love tea now, but I wasn't going to get a tea because they were like $6 a cup in Las Vegas. And it's funny, everybody is just dying, for their cup of coffee, and I felt fine. I had gone out the night before with them, and so I was up just as late as him having fun in Vegas, but I didn't need that coffee because I was over the addiction. And it was interesting because I was at a convention, and everybody was drinking their coffees and things like that, and I look around like lunchtime, everybody's yawning and stuff like that. Everybody, including my roommate and everything, they're all going back for their second cup of coffee. Oh gosh, I need another cup of coffee. Not me, I was totally fine. Everybody else was drinking coffee and stuff like that. They're needing that because I think that initial type of high wore off, and then all of a sudden I need to replenish that. And then later on that evening, I'm out in Vegas, so I'm excited. I don't go out there a lot, and so we were up there, and it's hard to even tell what time of day it is because everything, when you're inside the casino, they're pumping it full of oxygen and lights are going off everywhere, and so you don't sound, and so it can be really late, and you think it's like 9 o'clock at night. And I remember it was like 3 in the morning, and I'm still like hyper. I'm wanting to go. I'm like, yeah, let's do something. And my roommate, he was tired. Oh, let's go in and everything like that. And here I am thinking to myself, it's funny, I haven't had any caffeine, no coffee, nothing like that. I'm ready to go. I'm energetic. I'm excited. And he's been drinking coffee all day, and he's tired and ready to go in for the bed. So, again, I'm not here to bash coffee. I'm not here to say that, coffee is bad for you. I have met people that are over 100 years old living and drink coffee every day. So, yeah, do I think my mother, she drinks coffee every day. She exercises. She's a phenomenal entrepreneur. I know a lot of great people that drink coffee, so I don't think coffee is the worst thing in the world. In fact, I think it's a better option than a lot of other things. So if it's like your one little thing that you do, then no big deal. Don't make yourself feel bad over it. This is just my own personal journey. You guys know from following me by now that I just like to document and share my life experiences and my thoughts and things that I'm going through with you guys so that you can, better make decisions for yourself. Don't just quit coffee because I did. Really do some soul searching for yourself, research some other testimonials, and see for yourself if this is something that you really feel is worth giving up or not. Because leading back to, my Tony Robbins and things like that, you may have heard me share this story before, but it's worth hearing again. I remember when I was at the UPW event, and that night that he kept us up till 4 in the morning, I remember, I think I left the event, no kidding, at like 4:30 in the morning. I remember heading back to my Airbnb, laying in bed. I think it was like 6 a.m. And I remember I was so hyper. I was like writing in my journal. I was so hyper. And we had not eaten the whole day because we didn't even get a break in that event that day. And I hadn't had a cup of coffee in like 20 hours since the previous morning at like 9 or 10 a.m. And so, but I remember feeling as if I had like 5 shots of espresso, bouncing, like just feeling so incredible, but I hadn't had any. It was just pure natural energy. And that was really what got me thinking. That was like, wow, so you don't need caffeine and coffee to feel like this. You can naturally derive this type of energy from within. And that was really what started getting me to think about quitting coffee. That, you know what would be a better habit and a better way to learn about how to live is how to get back to my natural energetic self. Like when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, having that natural burst of energy of always wanting to play and not needing, oh, my afternoon cup of coffee, oh, my morning cup of coffee. Oh, yesterday I was just on a business appointment. It was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. All the ladies in there were, oh gosh, I could just use a cup of coffee. And now that I'm off of it, I see it. I see it much more clearly. Where before I used to be one of those people that would agree with them. Yeah, I could sure use one too. But now I look around and I'm just like, wow, everybody's addicted to this stuff. That's crazy. And so when you're off of it, it's kind of a freeing experience to be able to go to a coffee shop with other people and they're all spending all their money on coffee and needing that just to feel normal. And you already feel normal. You already feel good. You didn't even have to spend money to feel normal. And so what I've replaced coffee with really is drinking tea. I always believe that the best way to kill an addiction is to replace the addiction with a healthier habit. And so for me, I drink tea now. I love mushroom tea. I drink like chaga mushroom tea and lion's mane tea and different types of teas and things like that. I've always loved tea, but I love it even more now because I've learned just how, all the variety of it is quite exciting. Every day I like to try different teas and things like that, and it's a lot of fun, and it's really healthy. Tea is great for you. It's cool learning about the different teas, and they're a lot more calming, and they don't have that, that intense effect like coffee has. So in the morning, I get up, I just drink, 2 big glasses of alkaline-rich water, squeeze a nice lime into them, and drink, a nice hot cup of mushroom tea, maybe something else in it as well, some cinnamon, things like that. And then I'll jump on my rebounder trampoline a little bit, get all pumped up and in the state, and just derive a natural form of energy to pump into the day. And if I'm feeling a little bit tired in the afternoon, then, hey, I'll take a 5 or 10 or 15 minute nap. No shame in that. Hey, sometimes if you're tired, just do that. I find that I get that taking just a really quick nap, 5 to 15 minutes, does a great job in recharging my batteries. Maybe I'll jump on my rebounder trampoline for a little bit, listen to one of my favorite songs, get all pumped up. Yes. And boom, it's like I got that I'm getting hyper just doing this without needing any sort of stimulant. And so with that, if any of you guys have got off coffee, share how you feel, your testimonials. If you drink coffee and you love it, good for you. I don't, again, this is my own personal journey. I got nothing but love for you guys, and I hope you have a great day. And if you decide to quit coffee and go a month without it, that first week or two is going to be rough, but I promise you after that, you're in for a treat.